Keir Starmer is scared and Farage, the Reform UK leader, is laughing. Reform is now the largest party in Britain as Labour membership collapses under Starmer. What a shame. I've got the internal figures that expose a truth Keir Starmer desperately wanted to keep under wraps. The Labour Party is hemorrhaging support not just in the polls but where it really counts. Paying members. This isn't just political embarrassment. This is a scandal of leadership betrayal. But the real twist, the biggest shock isn't the number they lost. It's the truly un-British reaction from Starmer when it got caught. Applause, applause. We'll get to that toxic meltdown in a moment. Let's break down the arithmetic of this humiliation. Reform UK has officially overtaken Labour to become the largest party in British politics according to new leaked figures. Reform now has a public counter tracking their 268.73 members and growing. Labour's total membership, however, has remained a closely guarded secret for months. A secret kept tighter than the Queen's jewels. But internal figures seen by The Times revealed the truth. Labour has fallen behind. Since Starmer walked into number 10, his party has shed a whopping 100,000 members, leaving the party with just 250,000 total members. Think about that. Labour's paid-up supporters have halved since Starmer won its leadership contest in 2020 from a high of more than 500,000. That's not a political shift. That's an exodus. And of course, the Tories were left in dust months ago. Reform UK overtook the Conservatives' membership way back on Boxing Day last year. A truly fitting Christmas present for the party that governs us. At the time, the Tories had a paltry 123,000. They may have substantially fewer today. Where are the other major parties in this race to the bottom? The Green Party has surged recently thanks to the new leadership, but they lag well behind Reform and Labour on 180,000 members. According to figures published last August, the Lib Dems are around 83,000 members, just ahead of Jeremy Corbyn's party on 50,000. But the big story here is the gulf that has opened up at the top. This isn't just about a membership number, it's a political earthquake disguised as a spreadsheet. Let's go straight to the man of the hour. Reacting to the news, Mr. Farage celebrated with the smug satisfaction of a man who's just won a raffle. He said, "As we have suspected for some time, Reform is now the largest political party in British politics, a huge milestone for us. The age of two-party politics is dead. And Reform's Lee Anderson, never one for subtlety, simply quipped, size matters. It really does." This is another major boost for Reform UK, which is already campaigning hard for major victories in next year's May elections. The party has now led in every single one of the last 150 voter intention polls. They ran in more cash than all the other parties last quarter and has gained more council by-election wins than all other parties since May. The country is shifting. The numbers are speaking volumes. If you want the truth on where British politics is really heading, hit subscribe right now. But as this seismic shift unfolds, what is Keir Starmer's response? Does he acknowledge the failure? Does he apologize for the broken promises that sent 100,000 members running for the hills? No, instead, he reignited his tired war off words with Nigel Farage, claiming the Reform UK leader is a toxic, divisive disgrace. This spat was sparked by Farage's comments on Glasgow, where he claimed 1 in 3 school children do not speak English as their first language and referred to it as the cultural smashing of Glasgow. But the Prime Minister told reporters, his a disgrace. Is a toxic, divisive disgrace. All he wants to do is tear communities apart. Yakama, the master of political convenience, then said he was proud of how diversity and compassion are celebrated in Scotland. Really, Prime Minister proud of losing 100,000 members. I don't go around picking and choosing and trying to divide. The irony hangs in the air like a London fog. The man whose party is actively splitting in two, creating the biggest political division since the last election, suddenly pretends to be on fire. Then came the darker, more desperate deflection. Starmer claimed Farage was only doing this to distract from allegations of racist comments Hertzant give a proper explanation for. Then the big swing. Starmer demanded to know why Farage is not launching an inquiry into pro-Russian links in his party. And Starmer answered his own question. I'll tell you why he doesn't want to do that. Because they are a pro-Putin party, he added. A pro-Putin party. That is the level of political commentary we are now getting from a sitting prime minister when faced with the uncomfortable truth that more people are willing to pay Reform UK than his own party. This isn't leadership. It's a toddler throwing a tantrum because Hudson have his favorite toy. But the desperate tactics don't stop with insults. The latest twist in this sorry saga involved a move so cynical it should shock even the most hardened political observer. Local government secretary Steve Reed, one of Starr's men, delayed elections in 4 key regions until 2028. Let me repeat that. Elections for which candidates have been chosen and campaigning is underway. Polls previously due next May have been pushed back by 4 years. Critics accuse the government of running scared because it feared a series of humiliating losses. And they have every right to be scared because an analysis of recent polling by Electoral Calculus found that Reform UK was the party most likely to win all 4 elections. The government didn't just postpone a vote. They effectively hit the big red panic button to avoid being seen publicly humiliated by Reform. Reform leader Nigel Farage didn't mince his words on this either. He said the government are basically committing electoral fraud upon the electorate. Now, fraud is a strong word, but the implication is clear. When the establishment cannot win the game, they simply move the goalposts. This isn't democracy. It's a desperate attempt to rig the political furniture so Farmer doesn't look quintessential bare. But there's a pattern to this avoidance. Remember what Starmer promised on his way into number 10? He promised change. Instead, what we've got is an administration that is literally avoiding the ballot box to protect its own fragile ego. The man who claimed to restore integrity is now running from the very people he is supposed to serve. The bottom line is this. The facts, the polls, and the election delays all point to one thing. The political ground beneath Keir Starmer is crumbling. Reform is the largest party. Fellowborship is sinking. And Starmer's only life raft is insults and avoidance. That is the real state of British politics today. If you want to know what this membership collapse and this election dodge mean for next year's budget and how Reform plans to exploit this Starmer crisis, then you need to be subscribed. Click the bell so you don't miss the next video exposing the full cost of Starr's meltdown. The Labour Party membership was once the bedrock of movement, 500,000 strong, representing the very core of British working life. Today, that number is 250,000. A loss of 100,000 people in a matter of months. That isn't just a political statistic. That is thousands of shattered hopes and broken loyalties. The collapse is not a result of a sudden conversion to Farage's policy. It is a symptom of disillusionment with a leader who promised to be different, but delivered exactly the same old toxic